Do you really need a different resume for every job you apply to? Today's story takes a sharp look at the quiet battle between job seekers and the algorithms deciding their fate. It's a mix of frustration, surprise, and a dash of career survival strategy. And honestly, the more you hear, the more you realize the real job might just be writing the resume. So let's dive into the question everyone's whispering: how much tailoring is actually enough? With that tension in the air, let's zoom in on one job seeker trying to navigate the maze, and the surprisingly picky system standing guard at the gate. A job hunter recently learned that applicant tracking systems can reject even qualified candidates simply because their resume doesn't mirror the job description. They were told to include a few targeted keywords in every section: summary, experience, skills. But tailoring each resume feels exhausting. So they asked, do you rewrite your resume for every application, or do you rely on one master version that you tweak as needed? It's a relatable dilemma, and it sparked a flood of perspectives, some practical, some tech-driven, and some refreshingly simple. Here's how people broke it down.
Just a quick welcome to Better Life FAQs. If you want more simple, practical answers like this, be sure to share, like, and subscribe. Now let's continue.
First up, a method that blends structure with sanity. One viewer swears by a master resume, then spends a quick few minutes swapping in job-specific keywords and phrases. This is the kind of advice that feels like a sigh of relief, simple, grounded, and almost meditative. A master resume acts like a home base, something solid you can return to when the job hunt feels chaotic. The suggestion to add specific keywords isn't just practical. It acknowledges that ATS systems speak their own language, and instead of fearing that language, this method encourages learning it. The clever twist is that tailoring becomes a quick skill instead of a chore, especially once you recognize recurring patterns in job descriptions. It also helps you focus on phrases each employer values, which gives your resume a sense of alignment without losing your voice. Of course, this approach can fall short if the job descriptions are wildly different or require a deeper narrative shift. But for most roles within the same lane, it's efficient and surprisingly empowering. Imagine applying for a project coordinator job in the morning and a program assistant job after lunch. You'd simply tweak your top bullets, refresh a skill or two, and keep moving. No burnout, no panic, just process. And while that system keeps things human-powered, others take the tech route to make things even faster.
Enter the AI-assisted strategist. Another viewer tailors their resume with GPT, using it to optimize keyword alignment while carefully checking for inaccuracies. This reflects a growing trend. AI isn't the enemy of job seekers. It's becoming part of their toolkit. Using GPT to rewrite sections based on a job description can save real time, especially when you're applying to multiple roles a week. What's smart here is the viewer's awareness that AI can drift into embellishment if not guided clearly. That honesty hits home for anyone who's ever read an AI-generated sentence and thought, I definitely did not do that. Proofreading becomes the anchor that keeps the process honest. The beauty of this method is that it combines speed with oversight. You let AI handle the heavy lifting, but you decide what stays, of course. This approach can fall short if you rely too heavily on the tool and end up with a resume that sounds generic or robotic. But when used intentionally, it's a powerful way to break through the monotony of tailoring. Think of it like having a super-fast assistant who sometimes gets a little too enthusiastic. You just need to keep them in check. But not everyone uses just one base document. Some take a more segmented approach. Here comes the dual resume strategist. One viewer keeps two master resumes, one for teaching, one for learning and development, and tailors each depending on the job. This approach is a clever blend of specialization and efficiency. Instead of one document to rule them all, they maintain two carefully targeted foundations. It's especially useful for people whose skills branch in different but related directions. That way, tailoring never feels like starting from scratch. It's more like adjusting a lens. The emotional advantage here is huge. Clarity replaces overwhelm. The method can stumble if your job pathways diverge too dramatically, but within overlapping fields, it's a smooth system. You could imagine someone toggling between education-focused roles and corporate training roles without losing precious time rewriting everything. It shows intentionality and helps keep your message crisp without burning out. And once these two masters are refined, tailoring becomes almost automatic. Of course, some viewers took a more humorous, but still practical approach. And there's the "just use AI, my friend" comment. One viewer simply points out that ChatGPT exists, implying tailoring is now effortless. It's a funny comment, but it actually captures a real shift in how job seekers operate. The existence of AI tools has lowered the barrier to customizing resumes, turning what used to take an hour into minutes. Still, the comment gestures toward an important truth. AI is a helper, not a replacement for your judgment. If you rely on it completely, your resume can lose texture and start sounding like everyone else's. But as a partner, it can speed up the parts of the process that feel tedious. For example, if you're applying to 5 similar jobs, you can have AI reword your bullets to fit each one, and then you refine them with your own voice. The danger, of course, is complacency, pasting AI text without thinking. But as long as you maintain your perspective in the process, the results can feel surprisingly authentic. The comment accidentally highlights the new job search era. Humans and AI co-authoring career stories. From humor, we jump to a hyper-structured approach that many recruiters swear by.
Next is the precision engineer of resumes. A viewer advises customizing headlines, skills, summaries, and rewriting bullets using action verbs, aligned tightly to each job description. This method leans heavily into strategy and structure, almost treating the resume like a living blueprint. Matching keywords across the top sections speaks directly to how ATS scans documents. But what elevates this advice is the emphasis on contextual bullet points, showing not just what you can do, but how you've done it. Reordering bullets based on job priorities is also underrated. Hiring managers often skim the top of each section first. This method is powerful but time-intensive, which may not work for people applying to dozens of jobs a month. Yet for high-stakes or highly specialized roles, this level of tailoring can make a real difference. Imagine applying to a senior analyst role where they want leadership, forecasting skills, and systems experience. You'd move your strongest bullets to the front to match their needs instantly. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. Others preferred a lighter touch, tailored, but only where it matters most.
Here's the minimalist Tailor. One viewer adjusts only their profile and skills summary for each job, leaving most of the resume unchanged. This is a strategic compromise. Change the sections that matter most to ATS and recruiters, but keep the rest stable. It's efficient and preserves consistency across applications. The benefit is that your resume still feels like you without being over-engineered. The risk is that deeper mismatches between your bullets and the job could still block you from being seen. But for people applying within a narrow industry, this is often enough. It acknowledges that job seekers have limited energy, and tailoring should focus on maximum impact for minimum effort. It's also helpful when interviews come. Your core messaging stays familiar to you. For example, if you're applying to multiple marketing roles, updating a few keywords like campaign optimization or market analysis may be all you need. And then there are the ultra-simplified approaches that lead on consistency.
This next one is all about clean simplicity. A viewer uses a single resume but bolds common industry keywords to make them stand out. This approach shows a quiet confidence. Build one strong resume and make key terms more visible. Bolding doesn't affect ATS, but it does help humans skim quickly. The brilliance is that it forces you to intentionally include the right terminology without rewriting every line. The limitation is obvious. If a job uses different phrasing, your resume may not register as a match. But within industries with consistent vocabularies, like IT or nursing, this method can be surprisingly effective. It's an elegant way of saying, I know what matters here, without drowning in edits. It's ideal for people who apply to similar roles but still want to show structure and clarity. And emotionally, it offers something rare in job hunting: calm. And then we shift to someone who tailors, but with meaning at the center, not just keyword strategy.
Here's the intentional storyteller. One viewer uses job-specific keywords only when they genuinely match their experience, avoiding empty buzzword stuffing. This is a refreshing shift from keyword panic to purposeful communication. Instead of tailoring just to beat a system, they tailor to clearly show alignment to a human reader. What's compelling is their awareness that recruiters can instantly detect keyword dumping. Authenticity becomes part of the strategy. This approach can fall short if the ATS is extremely strict, but it shines in roles where human review comes quickly. It encourages job seekers to reflect deeply on how their experience fits, not just whether they can mimic the job post's vocabulary. And it invites the viewer to treat their resume like a conversation rather than a code-breaking exercise. Imagine applying to a role emphasizing stakeholder engagement. Instead of adding it blindly, you'd connect it to a real example from your work. That clarity builds trust. Then, at the other end of the spectrum, someone keeps things as simple as possible. This next comment keeps it bare bones. One viewer uses a single resume for every application, no tailoring at all. This approach is straightforward and emotionally appealing. No endless editing, no anxiety, just one document. It's especially common among early career job seekers or those applying broadly. The appeal is freedom from constant rewording. But the limitation is clear. In a world dominated by ATS filters, one resume may not always be enough. Still, sometimes simplicity wins, especially if your field values broad skills or if roles share similar qualifications. The viewer's method reminds us that over-customizing can drain your energy and motivation. And if the resume is strong, clear, and well-formatted, it may still carry a lot of weight. The trick is knowing when this approach serves you and when it holds you back. Finally, we end with a hybrid strategy, minimal tailoring, but in a smart place.
Our last perspective blends consistency with targeted intention. One viewer keeps a single resume but customizes their cover letter for each role, since they apply only to very similar jobs. This method is calm, controlled, and intentional. When you're applying within a narrow niche, the overlap in skills means your resume may already be aligned. Tailoring just the cover letter keeps the process efficient without ignoring the need for personalization. The challenge is that ATS systems may still miss you if the resume doesn't match the posting's phrasing. But when the keywords are naturally similar across roles, this can work beautifully. It's a workflow built around sustainability instead of perfection. And emotionally, it helps job seekers conserve energy for interviews, follow-ups, and the mental load of searching. It's a reminder that tailoring is not a moral obligation, it's a tool, and you get to decide how much of it you need. And with all these viewpoints shared, a bigger picture starts to emerge.
Across all these answers, a pattern appears. Everyone tailors, but the degree varies. Some optimize lightly, some overhaul strategically, and others outsource the whole job to AI. The deeper theme is about balance, finding that middle ground where effort meets sustainability without sacrificing clarity.
At the end of the day, resume tailoring isn't about rewriting your life story for every role. It's about speaking the language of the job you want. Whether that means a master resume, an AI assistant, or a two-track system, the real goal is alignment, not perfection. The more you understand the patterns in job descriptions, the easier this gets. And your resume becomes less of a chore and more of a tool you can shape with purpose. If there's one takeaway, it's this. Choose a system that keeps you consistent, clear, and sane. Your energy matters just as much as your keywords. So take a breath. Consider which approach actually fits your rhythm. And let the pressure of constant reinvention fade a little.
Thanks for listening. May your resumes be sharp, your keywords aligned, and your journey toward the next opportunity feel just a bit lighter. Until next time, stay thoughtful and keep moving forward.